That's nice and cool. That's nice and cool. What is this uncouth cacophony?
Cacao-phony.
Wow.
See what I did there?
He's
so entertained, though. Look at this guy.
Because it's stupid.
Welcome to Curiosity Public. My name is Dutch.
My name is Jules.
Dylan.
And it looks like we're going into the void. There's just a white box here. But today, we're taking a trip back into our Ultimate Spirits competition, our quest to review every sipping spirit on the face of the planet and subject it to our crazy hard 100-point scoring system. And in this episode,
we have a white box
that we're not supposed to use.
Yeah, read this. Read this right here. Read the last line right there. It
says, not for display use in retail or home.
Yeah,
exactly.
Not even at home.
So, of course, that's what we opened with.
Look at that. So, Macallan's telling us what to do with this box.
And
technically, we're not doing it in a store or at home. So, didn't say anything about onset at Curiosity Public now, did you?
Cap.
But in this episode, guys, Macallan Cacao. That's right. Let's take a look at the actual box here. You see it's the Harmony Collection. Rich cacao. It's got a little flavor toilet bowl there. Natural color. Matured in sherry seasoned oak casks. 44% alcohol, 88 proof. Well, you know, that's what it looks like when you flush the toilet.
Wait, is that Northern Hemisphere or Southern?
I think it's Southern, actually. Okay, and then there's the back. We've got some tasting notes and a bunch of literature that we'll get to later. Inside, we find, typical metallic. Macallan
See what happens?
A typical Macallan shaped bottle, but with what the heck is going on here? But with the same white and kind of orangish motif. Same info there. Collaboration with Jordi Roca, pastry chef at El Cellar de Can Roca. So this is matured in sherry seasoned oak casks. Sherry seasoned oak casks.
Wow.
And
it's the beginning of the day, folks.
I know. I don't know anything about this. I'm going to get this poured. Dylan's going to tell you guys all about it.
Yeah, so I could probably weave another tale, but, as you know, Macallan likes to release these kind of limited edition stuff and people go crazy over it, right? So when they released this online, they crashed the system. A lot of people were upset. The people who were able to get it were trying to sell it at secondary markets for crazy prices, $3,000, $6,000, $1,000. But thankfully, it was the supply kind of caught up a little bit. So this is the Harmony Collection, and the website basically says crafted from a harmonious combination of European and American oak casks. The idea is to invoke chocolate, essentially, or cacao. Do you know the difference between cacao and cocoa?
One is processed.
How? Well, both are fermented, right? But cacao is not roasted.
Not roasted.
So if you've ever had cacao powder or cacao, in its kind of natural form, there's a little bit more bitterness.
Is that like eating the cacao nibs?
Yeah, exactly that. So it's more of that bitterness and earthiness and things like that. I think you pay definitely a premium for Macallan, right? So there's definitely a markup for it.
Price on this?
Yeah, how much?
So the retail price is $160. I got this for $175.
Ooh. So not much of a markup.
Yeah. So.
Interesting. No age statement either, right?
Right.
So a lot of the Macallan special releases don't do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know we did the edition 6, I think. Mm-hmm. We did a review of. So, all right, guys, ready to get tasting?
Yes,
let's go.
Get into it. Wow, the viscosity in the glass is incredible. The legs.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really nice.
There is something.
Yeah, this is a familiar aroma I can't place.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Jules is going to give a diamond with those noises.
there are good things about Macallan, sir. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay. Jeez.
It's good.
Good means like 55. There's something that sits on top of the finish.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, I want to talk about that because,
And I don't know if it's good or not. It's interesting.
It's good.
so if you drink the Macallan lineup, right? We have which ones do we have? Like the 12, 15, and the 18?
18.
And then edition 6.
Edition 6, we got I got the classic cut.
We got the rare.
the gold,
17 rare oak.
rare,
Gold.
yeah, the 17-year. And we tried the rare casks.
Rare cask, edition 1, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But think about that. Okay, so I know that's fresh in our mind, rare cask, relatively speaking.
Yeah. Totally.
This has something that's...
Oh, yeah. No, I'm with you. I understand what you're saying. I just had trouble kind of breaking it down. We've had some time to taste. We've had some time to score. I got a score that I want to talk about.
Yeah, I think it can go up or down.
I totally with you.
Definitely malleable here.
But before we reveal those initial scores, Jules here is going to reveal our scoring system to you all.
We do have a 100-point grading system across 10 categories that are usually about 10 points that include aroma, flavor, body, complexity, balance, finish, uniqueness, drinkability, aesthetics, and value. However, flavor, we weigh at 20 points. Aesthetics at 5 points each. You can medal in our competition if you score 60 and up. Go from bronze, silver, gold to diamond.
They're usually about 10 points.
Yeah.
Like, maybe not. And Jules, they're only out of 9 points, but that's another story.
That's a fair point.
Okay, guys, initial score again. This could change as we discuss it. 82.
82.
No way.
Whoa. I feel bad. I got an 80.
Whoa.
Well, we're all in the same cluster again.
Yeah.
Interesting. I really. You guys need to score the same. Don't do that. Sacrilege.
Okay.
Okay, aroma.
We got to get through this here.
8.
8.
I gave it a 7. I thought it was weak.
I disagree
From what?
completely.
I completely...
I thought it was big,
By
bold,
1 point. So not
huge
completely.
in my face, but one note, kind of.
Yeah,
That's why.
it's
It's
definitely... the spectrum is narrower.
Yeah.
But very easy. Like it's easy. Like
Yeah.
I get a lot of flavors, but it's just a lot of flavor. But it's just this. It's just the
It's
sherry
narrow,
thing.
dude.
But we need to talk about this within the context of the intent of this release. The intent of this release
cacao.
is this is separate from the regular lineup of the kind of the sherry complex craftsmanship. This is to kind of invoke that chocolate flavor.
I don't get any of that on the nose.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have that.
Same
I
here.
think in the aroma. I completely
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah.
But I think the traditional Macallan aromas are there. The sherry is there.
Yeah, but
the-
it turned down.
You know what I like about it? It's the
down.
jam.
What's
The jam-
upsetting is that they say toasted cacao beans for the
Aroma? No.
Oh, sorry, chocolate fondant, honey, oak, zesty lime, and ginger.
No, that's not there. But
None of those are.
Not even, not even by half.
but what is there? It's not
Sherry.
it's not just ripe fruit. It goes into the jam aroma.
It does get to jam.
That's what I like about it. What's missing is obviously the
lot.
flower.
Floral's gone.
Yeah, the
There's
floral is
nothing
gone,
there.
and that's why it's not a 9 or a 10. But what it does have, it does really well. I
agree.
think that's why it
It's just a little.
deserves an
It's
8.
a little narrow,
Right.
And that's why it was an 8 for me.
I agree.
Why is it
All
7?
right, moving on to flavor. I had almost the same frustration with the flavors. I ended up at a 17.
Me too. 17.
No, wait. Okay, I gave it an 18, but this is where we're supposed to talk about this, right? So the flavor, cacao. Okay? What's going on here? When I tried this, the first time I tried this was during our podcast, right? And I, as you guys know, I'm like the biggest cynic in the world, right? This is like, I go, a bunch of garbage.
Number 1 fanboy.
Boy, the craftsmanship kind of comes through, and I gotta say, what I'm getting is the nutty, bitter, sweet roasted nuts. That's something that I don't get normally in the
flavor.
standard Macallan release. And I said, Oh my goodness! I finally figured it out, and I said, "You know what? It is there. It is there."
It's sherry with a little drizzle of extra.
No, I
dark
disagree.
chocolate.
I disagree. That's completely wrong, folks. So you
Not
do
sweet
get
flavor?
it. You get the nuttiness. You get the weird, like it's. There's a layer that's not usually there in Macallan.
I agree with
There's
you.
a layer
yeah,
that
I
is
agree
not
with
usually
But it's not-
there in
it's not
Macallan.
the nuttiness.
You get a
and
cacao.
that's what
It's
you
the
get.
cacao.
You get that.
It's
you
not
get
the
that.
nuttiness,
Like
though.
But to me, it's just Macallan sherry plus a little bit of cacao, which is great. But it's
bitterness. It's that bitterness. It's. When I tasted this, I
Not
said,
on the
"Okay,
palate.
wow, okay."
not on
Not
the
on the
flavor.
palate.
Not on the flavor.
No.
Not on the
That,
flavor.
you know what?
I'm
to
getting
me,
that more in the finish. I mean, we'll talk about in the
to
finish.
me, this
but-
excelled in other categories.
Yeah, let's talk about the finish.
Hang on,
too.
let's just
Yeah.
make sure. Let's just compare our tasting notes to Macallan's real quick.
Oh yeah.
Palate, dark chocolate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honey. No.
No.
Dates. Yes. Vanilla and cinnamon. No.
No.
Not as
But
much.
I wish.
To me, it was just the dates and the chocolate.
Yeah, dates.
Lots of vanilla. Vanilla bean.
I didn't really get the vanilla.
I get the vanilla.
I didn't really get the vanilla.
Yeah.
Me too.
It wasn't
Try
strong,
again.
at least. I'll try it again.
Nope.
You didn't even taste it.
Not much.
No, it's
But here's an interesting question.
I have not tasted this.
Here's an interesting question, though. If this didn't have any label on it, and you didn't know it was Macallan, and it wasn't called cacao, do you think you would be tasting cacao?
I would probably say there's
might have
that
said
again. There's
coffee.
that.
I would say.
I would say there's a layer.
Interesting. No, I would, especially on the finish, because I'm getting that in the finish, and it's really nice. I see what they were going for in the finish, but not in the palate.
Yeah, I think
it's not translating in the palate for me.
I do think they hit it. I'm wondering. I'm trying to like put myself in that position of if I didn't know what
You
this
think
was.
it's
only
more
in the
coffee
finish.
rather than
No,
cacao?
honestly, I'll describe it like you.
Yeah.
It's literally like how
For me, on my palate, at least.
No, it's when you drink coffee. It's like the finish afterwards of the coffee. I'm getting that essence.
which is a good
Right, it's great,
corollary
but I'm
for-
not
for
getting it on the
chocolate. I mean,
palate.
Chocolate flavors and coffee flavors
Right.
are fantastic.
Yeah, I like it, and that's why I think it's an 18. So
Okay. Let's move on to body. This was the first thing that hit me. I love the body on this 9.
9. Why isn't it a 10 though?
That's a good question. It's a really, really nice mouthfeel.
I actually gave it a 9, and I dropped it to an 8.
Why'd you drop it?
Because, like, I wasn't getting the... So I was getting a weird...
It wasn't controversial enough.
Yeah. Fair point. But no, like, so I was getting a mix on the viscosity level. It wasn't always consistent for me.
That's a garbage. Look,
No, seriously. Like, it sometimes, it doesn't coat everything, like, in my mouth, which is weird.
don't care. I think it's about that velvety feel. Like the reason why it's
that's
not
why
a
it's a-
10, it's because it's missing that. Because
Yeah,
we've
it's missing
tasted
a
that
little bit.
before.
It's got the buttery, but not the velvet.
Yeah, you know you like this. That is a
I
wrong
almost
score
gave it a
there.
9. I did, and then I dropped it to an 8.
I think it's a 9.
I
question.
I
mean,
heard
that-
a lot of stuff that were like
the
lies.
reason I say that is because my first reaction to this was nothing to do with the flavors. It was about the feeling.
Feel. That's it for me.
that's
That was
body.
it for
It
me.
feels
That's
great. It
body.
feels great. It feels
That's-
great.
And that's why I dropped it.
So if
because I
that's
wasn't
not your
getting it.
highest note, then why is
No, I dropped it down a point because, like, I wasn't
It's
getting
silky.
it.
It's silky.
but
It doesn't have that
I think it's
like
definitely
a
not.
full velveteen.
All right.
Right.
Before we move on, a quick programming note. If you are a member of Curiosity Private, you're going to get us. You're going to get to see us
Look at this comparison right here.
compare this to Dylan picked this to the Glenmorangie Signet.
There's
No idea why. Dylan has a reason. He'll explain it in our bonus footage exclusively for members of Curiosity Private here on YouTube and over on Patreon. Just for you guys. If you guys want to see cool content like that, consider joining. If you don't want
Who compares this with Signet?
to, crazy people.
Everybody does.
Okay, guys.
Stole it from Reddit.
Probably.
I know how you roll, man.
Complexity 9.
8.
I give it a 6.
What, with everything you talked about?
What is wrong with you, man?
What?
I mean, the
What?
the reason why I put it that way is because it is so narrowly focused. It does it very well. And that's where, I mean, the next category is where it makes up for a lot of it. But I feel like, you know, the reason why I drink a lot of Macallan is because it has, the proportions are always kind of where it should be, where it's like, there's no like rough edges, there's no skew in any way. The craftsmanship comes through and it's very, very, very well balanced and the complexity. You basically check off all of the numbers. I'm not getting that, and the reason for that I think is because they purposely wanted to focus on a very, very narrow
But
spectrum.
let me tell you why I disagree with you. And we've discussed this in other reviews before about the difference between picking one category and seeing how deep you go versus how many categories you hit. I think what they did is they picked two categories and they went super deep on the sweets and super deep on the chocolatey coffee thing. And to me that...
But floral is still there.
And there's an element of floral. There's almost like a minty thing mixed in.
I was going to say minty.
I don't know.
And that's why it was very complex.
Okay. I mean, look, I'll go up to a 7. That's fine.
Wow, how are we 2 points higher than he is?
I have no...
I'm at 81. I'm at 81 right now.
No, on complexity, I gave him a 9.
Oh, 7, yeah. No.
Oh, I'm 2 points.
Look, I think if you try you guys tried the rare cask. That one had like a phenomenal complexity. Come on.
Yeah, but it was way more focused on the sweet.
Estate. Come on, Macallan Estate. Like the Macallan 25. I mean, come on. That's where like the complexity shines.
Yeah, okay, I'll go down to an 8. Okay, moving on
I'm staying.
to... well, you had an 8 already, but moving on to balance. I feel like it was almost there. I gave it an 8.
Me too. 8.
Perfect. 10.
I originally had a 9.
Perfect balance.
I originally had a 9, and I feel like...
I think it's
You
skewed
cannot-
towards the cacao.
You can't. There you go.
That's also an balance. How can it be evenly
You cannot
balanced then?
achieve the intent without the balance. They achieved it. They achieved the cacao.
No. Let me tell you how they would have achieved it. A 10 would have been perfect sherry with the perfect interweaving of cacao.
Yeah,
the problem is
the
it doesn't.
This is a harmony collection.
No, they're not in harmony. That's the problem.
I completely
BS.
interweaving is the key
It is
word.
in harmony.
It's here's
10 out of
sherry,
10.
It's not
here's sherry, and here's some cacao.
Yep.
They're both great, but
they're
they
here.
don't blend.
They don't
right.
meld.
They
It's
don't
like,
meld right.
here's nuts and then chocolate. It's not a Snickers.
No, it's
How can you argue with that one?
Exactly.
no. Yeah, whatever.
That's
You
the
don't even
inner
eat
weave.
Snickers. What are you, the Mars bars or whatever? I drink Snickers. In fact,
You drink Snickers.
I could go to my car right now. I have Snickers in my car. I literally have
you were
Snickers
drinking
in my car. I have Snickers in my
Yeah,
car.
he melts them down
Balance is
and
10
puts
out
it
of
in a
10.
blender.
10 out of 10.
Moving on.
No
Okay.
spectrum, but balanced.
Moving on to finish. There was an interesting mint thing
Yeah.
that carried through the finish for me. I still ended up at an 8.
I agree with the mint.
8.
I give it a 7, strong 7. I could be
I like
bumped
it.
up to an 8.
It was
To me,
nice,
to me,
dude.
again, the body hit me initially and the finish. Those were the first two scores I wrote down.
I did enjoy this.
The reason I did the 7 is because, again, I wanted cacao from the beginning to the end.
you got it
like
in the
this
end.
weird-
You get it in the end. More
It's
than
an
the
after
beginning.
8. It's an after 8.
Exactly.
It's a dark chocolate mint.
All right, I'll go up.
I actually
Fine, that's fine.
really enjoyed the finish on this.
All right, I'll give it an 8.
Okay, guys, moving on to uniqueness. I gave it an 8.
I give it a 9.
8.
It's a 9.
I understand why.
I get
but
9 too.
Look, I get it. There are a million.
they
look,
focused
I get it.
on
Look,
it.
if you're a Macallan hater, that's fine. But
here's-
you're not gonna pick this up.
Let me tell you my
anyway.
problem with that, though. There's a plethora of scotches out there that if they just wrote on the bottle, this is supposed to taste like cacao, and I went and I
Exactly.
tasted it,
I'd
I
probably
feel
get
like
it
these
teased
flavors
out.
are in there. They're out there in the world.
Yep.
Somebody just hasn't...
No way. Glendronach 21. No way. 15. No, none of that. Nope. They don't have that bitterness, nuttiness. They don't have that kind of forward. They didn't pick those. They don't have that.
It's still an 8 for me.
Okay. I wanna kind of mention since we're talking about all that. Think about all the offerings out there. I wanted to say this is better than the editions. So like the edition 1 through 6.
It's just different,
I just feel like something was off about those things. I mean, like, I think there was a lot of hype around it. A lot of people were kind of fanning the flames of FOMO and all that kind of stuff. This one actually had some like craftsmanship that went through and delivered on a higher level. And I feel like I was very cynical about the cacao
I just think it's individual preference. You like what they did here, but there's a lot of people that might have picked up one of those editions and been like, no, I like
but
what
this
they
is
did here.
unique, though. Like, you can't
an
deny.
8.
We're not talking about, like,
It's an 8.
All right, well, I give it a 9.
Okay. Agree to disagree. Let's move on to drinkability. I really could drink this.
Yeah,
it's
me too.
really drinkable. I give it an 8.
I give it a 9.
I gave it an 8.
Why should we go to a 9, Jules?
Because I said so. Because I rarely go up that high.
Right, but
No, but it was really
appeal
good,
to our
man.
logic, not our
Right, like, and you know, actually, so that's what's funny. So I really enjoyed the finish more on this than the palate, and that's why I kept coming
Yeah.
back to it, because it's like the finish was so pleasant, and then I'm getting what they achieved, and it's crazy because that's where I even got the harmony of it, because I was getting more balance on the finish. And so because of that, like, I was left wanting, because it's like, dude, that's how you end. You end on a great note, and it did.
And yet your scores are exactly the same in all the categories. So
Minus
why is it that
flavor
you like
and
finish
aroma?
more?
Yeah, I actually like finish.
I gave it an 8, and the reason
think
it's
this is
not
drinkable. This is
the
good.
reason why it's not a 9 out of 10 is because I think that it's the narrow spectrum. Like sometimes I don't want cacao. I don't want that.
Yeah, but you're
I don't
gonna
want
drink
that.
this with
I don't want that
purpose.
nutty
You're drinking this because
nuttiness. I
of
don't want the bitterness.
Yeah, but you're drinking this with the intrigue of.
Sometimes
okay,
I
let me
want
get the
what I want is like rich, ripe fruit. Sometimes I just want.
Yeah, but you're not
jam.
gonna grab something that says harmonious with cacao if you're looking for that.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna be drinking all that time. Like this
I
is
don't know,
very.
it was pleasant for me, man.
Yeah, so
I could be talked up, but you haven't talked me up. So
this
let's
is
move
the 9
on
or 10.
to aesthetics. 3.
I gave it a 3.
Wow.
It's just kind of. This is one they could have made stand out a little more.
Okay, so-
and they didn't do it.
So I get it. Like the packaging is
Well, yeah,
supposed
let's
to
get
be.
Jules' score.
I give it a 5.
So
What?
I give
Go
it a
get
5.
the rare cask. Get
because
for the bland and the orange,
like it was.
You know what I like more? I like
it's got
I like the
little
black
soup thing that
12-year
happens
sherry.
here, and,
yeah, but
you
that's
know.
every bottle of
I
Macallan.
know, but it's like, look at that. Like, I like the actual color scheme on this.
You know
the
what this?
orange.
Yeah.
This
It
feels
works for
like
me.
this feels like a cardboard box. Like somebody like tried to print it, and the ink was
It works for
running
me,
out.
guys. I mean, look.
Like
at
I
this.
get it though. I mean, I
It
understand.
works for
I
me
mean, this
because
is for
like
like
consistent on the coloring. Like, this looks good on the shelf. It is different.
this is supposed to like degrade. This is made out of
Right.
like natural
Fuchsia,
fibers, and I get it. I
it's
get
pleasant.
it.
I
But
do like the bottle
It looks
shape.
good, dude. It's sexy.
yeah, like
looking.
all the
It's
other
nice.
bottles.
Yeah, but I feel like I usually score
All right.
Macallan a 4.
Wait.
Now this is
There we
happening.
go. Yeah.
I just finished this, right? Look at this old bottle. Look, I finished this. Like, I mean,
That's why. Look how different it is.
yeah, but this
exactly the
is gold.
same.
I brought this because
Look
it was
at the
gold.
color scheme. I'm talking about color scheme and presentation.
I mean, it's the exact same bottle.
yeah, but the color scheme is different.
I
like
care.
It works for me.
It's not bad, but I feel like I normally give Macallan.
I mean, this reminds me like
four.
of a French like bakery kind of color
I just
scheme.
feel like they
It
could have
looks cool.
stepped it up just a little bit. For these
Like it's
things.
weathered. You mean it's weathered?
I don't know, man. I need a little something else. Let's move on to our final
Very
category
Parisian.
of value. 4.
4.
Really? I give it a 2. $175 for a non-age stated.
Well, what are the additions? The additions are around the same, right?
Editions are like
They're
in
all about the same range.
120.
Are they cheaper? Yeah, but you're not going to
120,
grab
For
that.
some reason, I thought they were the same. Okay,
I think
I'm gonna
the number 6 was 145.
I'm gonna go down to a 3.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
So the reason why I gave it a slightly lower score, it's not a
Judging?
1 or a 0.
I'm dropping as well.
3.
Yeah, if I mean, I don't have a reference point.
Okay, so I want
It's you guys to contextualize.
let me try to.
I just react.
Okay, let me try to explain this. If you are well, like far along on your Scotch journey, and you're looking for that unique expression, you're looking at you're min-maxing,
word
you're looking for that. You're really focusing on the minutia. You want that very narrow spectrum flavor profile.
Craftsmanship.
You're looking for craftsmanship. This is your jam. This is what you want to pick up. But if you're a casual drinker and you want bold flavors that skew more toward, let's say, sweetness or the peat or
peat.
those kind of things,
The peat.
this is not worth that time and money. This is insane. You're not going to pay $175 for dollars.
But it's not bad.
And the reason for this is
tasty.
because you could also get a Macallan that is age stated around this price, which is the 15-year. You can get the double or triple cask for 15 years. So if you really want a Macallan and you want like what Macallan can do, you can pick up a 15-year. You can't pick up the 18-year because it goes up into the 300s. But for $175, you are going to stop and say, do I want a very narrow spectrum, well-crafted, well-balanced, very narrow spectrum Macallan, or am I going to spend it on a tried and true 15-year double or triple cask? It really depends on where you are in the Scotch journey. This is the reason why I can't give it the value a high score, because it is for a niche demographic. I am part of that demographic.
Let me play devil's advocate though. Like, this is pretty unique among Macallan.
Yeah.
So why doesn't that then justify the slightly higher price over the additions?
Because at $175, that the term uniqueness must apply to other brands as well. And $175 opens up a lot of doors.
Fair enough.
It is. There's a lot of things
but
you
within
can
the
get.
Macallan lineup,
This is where I would say the Macallan haters, would say, there's definitely a markup. This should be on the same level as Glenmorangie Tale of Winter or Glenmorangie Tale of Cake.
Good point. Okay, let's get our final tally, guys. Good discussion. I ended up down 2 points at 80.
Wow.
81.
We flipped. I got an 82.
Wow. Which gives us our official Curiosity Public score for
That's a gold.
Macallan Cacao 81. It is a gold.
Wow. I'm actually surprised. I thought I was going to get a silver, but
I'm not surprised.
I think it's good.
With you guys.
It's good.
Macallan Cacao. Gold.
Jules?
Tell us what you think in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Either way, just let us know. Subscribe for more videos from Curiosity Public. If you want to help us out, please consider joining Curiosity Private. It's our membership program here on YouTube. We are also on Patreon, finally. That's another great way. And you can buy t-shirts. That helps us out too. We have 2 t-shirt shops. Links will be in the description. Check out our podcast on all major podcast platforms out there. As always, stay safe, stay healthy.
Stay curious.
That really
about cacao.
It's really nice bitterness. That little
It's
bitterness
cacao,
that comes
man.
through.
It's good.
It's mostly in the finish.
It's good. We got to do a taste off now for our members.
Taste
Oh yeah,
off.
let's go.